Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now, before I get to my report from yesterday, which is a good one, I think, I got to kind of finish off that phone call question from Larry that we just got about 20 gauge shotguns, mainly because somebody asked a question and I love talking about it. I know it's going to come up. Some of the folks that are out there that are shooting 20s these days for ducks and other things, right? They're going to go, oh, why is he saying that about a 20? Listen, there's nothing wrong with shooting a 20 gauge for ducks, okay? Geese, I got a problem. I wouldn't do that. I shoot a 20 almost exclusively for everything other than when I'm duck hunting, okay? The reason why I went to a 12, back to the 12, as a primary shotgun as opposed to the 20, is that I was certainly seeing more wounded birds, and that is absolutely unacceptable to me. Everybody's a little bit different. I like my dog to not have to work. I will do everything I have to do to make sure that the head is down. It doesn't matter what's going on. I don't want my dog to have to work hard. If you run a dog, well, if you know, you know, right? I just don't want the dog to have to work hard. So went back to the 20 gauge, or excuse me, a 12 in a 1 1/4 ounce twos, and that's it, right? Much more consistent, clean, done. Very, very important, at least to me. And I'm going to go back to it a little bit with the 20 gauge. Don't think that just because it's a 20 that it doesn't have the same kind of range or effective range as a 12 gauge, because they technically do. The shot does what it does. Muzzle velocity is muzzle velocity. They travel the same distance, the same speed, muzzle velocity to muzzle velocity. So just kind of they're very, very functional. It's just one of those things where I would highly recommend that you duck hunt, that you just don't go shooting. That you actually duck hunt. And what that means is that you've convinced them to do something that they don't want to do, which is mean to land in your decoys. Or at the very least, try to get into your decoys and you can take them on a relative swing, 25, 30 yards. Saw a lot of not doing that yesterday. Went out after the show, went to a very public area, was invited into a blind with my buddy that I hunt with all the time, Mr. Fish, and then Brian. So Brian, thank you very much for letting me come in and hang out with you guys for the afternoon. It was a very productive day. It was super wet. When I first got there at about 11:30, which is kind of how long it took me to get there from here at the studio, it was absolutely torrential. And then, of course, it just cleared, blue skies, and things kind of slowed down a little bit, but I was able to get close to my limit. I ended up with 6 birds. I think both of them got theirs, or Sean may have ended up one short. Either way, it was a great day. It was just one of those lucky opportunities to get out. Was actually able to get my very first, and this was super important to me. This was my entire plan yesterday, was for the first time in however many years it's been to actually be able to hunt, like for real, hunt pintail. Calling them, trying to work them, because typically we don't do that with a 1-bird limit. Well, we got a 3-bird limit now on pintail. That was the goal. It was my first chance to do it. I hadn't taken any pintail up until yesterday, and I was able to do that. I got my 3 pintail and 3 mallards, so I'm calling it a success. In the end, you don't have to shoot limits every time, although that's obviously something that we strive for, but it was a great time. And again, Brian, thank you for letting me come out and spend some time with you guys and chase some of those birds. It was fun. Now, as far as fishing reports go, we'll get to river levels and that giveaway here in just a little bit, but as far as fishing reports go, very, very slim. Only got 1 report yesterday. It was from the coast. Pretty darn slow. So it all depends on water. How much do we get? Does it change the conditions in the rivers or the bays? So if you're going to be chasing them this week, the weather report that we're going to get from Peyton is going to be something that you're going to want to pay attention to, because it looks like we got a lot of water that's on the way. I'd like to see more, but that's just me. Here's the Willamette at Oregon City. It's still showing a little bit of a bounce and maybe slightly above its forecast, moving along to the Columbia. The gauge is working now, which is great to finally be able to see that. This is at Vancouver, although it does look funny to me. That might just because it's a little bit ahead of schedule. It is showing a little bit of a bounce. Things are stable at Bonneville. Typically when they do that, they're holding water. It'll be interesting to see how that goes going forward. Here close to home, you got the Clack on a bit of a drop and then a bounce towards the end of the week. Now, it is by months, literally-ish, to be thinking about winter steelhead, but there will definitely be some of those B-run silvers in the system. This is where things get a bit interesting. Might be still a little bit blown along the north coast and central coast, but things are dropping nicely. They're going to clear out, but it looks like they're going to stay relatively high. I mean, if you're thinking about perfect levels, it might stay a little bit high. but I would rather have too much than not enough. When you're talking about water in some of those tributaries, for sure. But there you go. So that's going to give you an idea what's going on, at least what you can expect this upcoming week. Hopefully it holds stable. And like I said, here in a minute, we'll find out from Peyton what that's going to look like. But Procure, don't forget to send Jason, and I say it every single day. This is an actual giveaway that happens every Monday morning. There is an absolute winner every single week. If you don't win, that's why it's called a contest or a drawing, a weekly winner. Jason at Procure.com. Simple. All right, let's check in with Peyton Major and find out what's going on with our weather. Hopefully, Peyton, things either got wetter or stayed the same in that forecast.
Yeah, it looks like they're staying the same. It's good because it's 2 atmospheric rivers back to back.
Wow.
Kind of crazy. Okay, so rain since Halloween. Will really explain the kind of spike in river levels near the coastline. Pacific City and Tillamook, over 3 inches of rain in really just 2 days because it hasn't rained today. So that's all the way from the evening of Halloween through yesterday. Very impressive, though, across the board. Most of us over an inch. Some areas even over 1.5 inches, like Gresham, Camas, 2 inches in Wilsonville. We love to see that, especially kicking off of one of our wettest months of the year. So lots more rain this week. Basically, you know, it's just going to stay the same. But I will say the fog is clearing. If you woke up to some dense fog, 49 in our Rivermark camera. It will be slow to clear, but we'll see lots of sunshine this afternoon, and then things really cloud up. I do think we'll stay fully dry today, so it's a great outdoor day if you want to avoid the rain altogether. Whatever you need to do it today because it's real wet this week. So showers waking up tomorrow. We'll see steadier rain by the afternoon and evening, and then things just continue from there. You can see we are really in no shortage of rainfall out in the Pacific, and any rain that in our system that ends up developing will hit us just because of the angle of the jet stream and the way it's staying pretty much directly over the Pacific Northwest all week long. The only concern I really see is maybe some breezy conditions Wednesday, Thursday, and then forecast rainfall if we end up getting, you know, a lot of rain in those areas that already have had a lot of rain this last weekend. We may be looking at some river flooding. Okay, so here's that first atmospheric river I was talking about. That second one, I mean, barely a break between those two. That will be our heaviest rain events this week, but no storms in the forecast. Wednesday, Thursday, just wet days, and we'll be in the 60s to upper 50s. Things taper off Friday, Saturday looking mainly dry. I will say a third atmospheric river is coming next Sunday, so a week from now. So we have 3 in the next 7 days, very November-like. And again, we'll be watching that threat for some southerly breezes Wednesday, Thursday, because the ground is wet, and therefore we may see some scattered power outages. But that's really all, Owen. It's a very simple 7-day, very wet as well.
We like that, but obviously when you get a lot of water that shows up, things can get interesting in a negative way as well. So hopefully none of that stuff happens. But I do have a selfish question for you.
Go for it.
I'm going to be looking really close at the coastish area.
Yeah.
Heavy winds showing up there this week as well?
It is, yes. I say the coast minimum, maybe 45-mile-per-hour gusts Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see if that gets higher. We have a crazy model that's spitting out 60. We'll see. But I think this is, yeah, I know.
Okay, that's a little spooky when it gets that fast. Thank you as always, Peyton. We appreciate the insight.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, we're going to be outside. We're going to start the process of giving away a 1760 brand new Willie drift boat. The folks from the CCA Oregon are giving away a number of things, but the very first one is going to be that beautiful drift boat from Willie Boats. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, Ocean and the Saltwater Sport Fishing Show, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.